Hi guys, my name's Ellie, welcome to my channel, and today I want to review a brush set. So, this is how it came to me in this nice little thing. It is the BH Cosmetics 12-piece crystal quartz collection. I have them all out in a cup. So there are 12 brushes. I have just realized that there is a thing. I'm going to pull that off. It's online only. I got it through Ulta, and I have a weird urge to test out anything that looks like it might count as a full face brush set and see how well it actually works. So I got these. I did a get ready with me with my first impressions, and I've now been using them for about 2 weeks as my main, if not only, brushes for doing my face. And I want to talk to you about how that went. So first things first, this bag had a lot to do with why I bought the thing. I'd been interested in a brush set, interested in trying more, doing more brush reviews, and testing a bunch of stuff out, because I kind of have a handful that I use, and I don't really use anything else, and I don't try other brushes to see if there's something that might be a better fit, or that might just, I don't know, be something I didn't know I was missing until I got a brush for it. But this is super cool, and it's quite structured. So I used this a lot for any time I was going to be away from my house and do my makeup. I could put the brushes in brush guards, which help a little bit with the form, but having something this sturdy that is the right length for them so they don't get squished and helps them kind of hold their own against the rest of things in my bag was really helpful. And it is really pretty and cool and iridescent. I like it. So this is a bonus. This is something I think I will continue to use for brushes when I travel. And now let's get into the brushes themselves. This is the first one that I really didn't use. This is brush number 4. They have a list on the Ulta website of what the brushes are, but they don't correspond them with the numbers. This for me looks the most likely to be a contour brush, and I don't really contour. I think I might have used it once or twice with highlight, but it just didn't work. I think this is probably something that's really good for contouring, but since I don't contour every day, I often forget. This was not the most useful for me. This was quite useful. This is brush number 1. The big fluffy ones are wet because I just finished washing them. This, I'm assuming, it is either the one that they wanted to be the bronzer brush or the powder brush. I used it as a powder brush either to apply it or to sweep off the excess, because I started putting my powder on with my my makeup sponge just to kind of like get everything really, really set. And this has been really nice for getting that off, kind of buffing it in so there's no excess powdery look. I liked it quite a bit. I didn't try it for bronzer because I enjoyed a different one much more for bronzer. This is brush... Oh no! I don't know if you can see. No, you can't. There are some cracks in the handle. That makes me sad. Quite sad. Okay, I'm gonna stop poking it and seeing if I can break it anymore, because that's a problem. I was gonna say I hadn't had any issues with these falling apart or shedding or anything, but apparently either this came broken or I broke it at some point, because there's a lot of cracks going down the handle. So we'll see what happens. But this is brush number 2. And this one has worked really, really well for bronzer for me as well as for blush. It's the kind of thing where I can kind of press it in and just touch the powder, picks up enough, and it does really blend it out very nicely. I would have expected something this, because it is kind of dense, to be a little bit too much for bronzer. Often I've found that the denser brushes I tried with bronzer, it was a lot, it packed it on too heavily, but this one worked really well, and then the amount that it picked up did go onto my skin very well, and then when I picked up blush with it, it did the same type of thing where it would deposit it, but not like, more like it would allow it to blend out and kind of merge with the bronzer if I used the same brush for both. I liked it quite a bit. I'll probably keep using this one for bronzer. This is brush number 3. Again, it's similar density, just kind of smaller and rounder. I used this for blush. It worked pretty well for blush. I also used it for highlight. It didn't work as well for highlight. I don't know. It would get it on, but it wouldn't be nearly as reflective as the other highlighting brush I have from Sephora that's a lot fluffier. which is probably because the fluffiness allows it to pick up more product and put it on, whereas this one just kind of only picks up as so much until the surface is kind of coated, and then it's just, that's how much you get. So, potentially good if I was trying to purposely go through not blushes, highlighters faster, because it did take a lot of product, but didn't always deposit all that product. So, not bad, but I have other things I'd rather use. Now we get into, this is an extra. This is something from Morphe that I brought in just to use to kind of round things out. I'm going to talk about this later. Now we have all of the eye brushes. So this one, I'm going to do them in the order that I was using them. This is brush number 8. It's kind of fluffy, a little angled, but not super steeply. I use this a lot for picking up cream shadows to kind of just set my base. It worked quite well. I'm sure it would also work for deeper crease work or for like going under my eyes for blending out that bottom part. I liked it quite a bit. This one I like a lot. This is number 5. As you can see, it's a fluffy blending brush, and this one has helped a lot. I'm currently 1 month when paletting a Clionadh Cosmetics palette, and their mattes are pretty pigmented. They kind of stick down and have a pretty strong color. Something like this that is a little fluffier and allows me to really diffuse out the color has been very helpful. I liked it quite a bit. I will definitely keep using this one. And then these two I kind of used interchangeably. This one is number 6. It's a little looser, a little longer and fluffier, more flat across the top, whereas this one is number 7. It's a little bit more dense, a little bit more domed and sturdy. I use these both either to deepen a crease or the outer corner, or to run something along my lower lash line. I think if I had to decide, this one's really nice for doing my lower lash line because it blends out very nicely. And this one, since it's a little denser, is quite nice for packing on color in the outer corner and the crease. So, I liked these quite a bit. This one I used for a couple different things. This is number 10. I did use it sometimes to darken up the outer lower edge. It's more like a pencil brush, or I could use it to highlight the inner corner. Both worked quite well. This one is number 9. This is what I used for picking up color and shimmer shadows to go on the lid. It works quite well. It does pick up a decent amount of color and lays it down pretty impactfully, so I liked that. I think that is opening me up to different shapes for doing my lid, because I have like one brush that is my favorite for putting shimmers on my lid, and I don't really mess with anything else, but this one kind of has reminded me that there are other shapes that work well. And then these two I didn't use that much. This one is number 11. As you can see, it's a really, really flat, firm brush. I did use it a couple times to put something on the lower lash line to darken it up, something really close to the lash line. It just, I don't know, it was kind of scratchy for the eye area and not my favorite. This might be nice for like lining right at the edge because you can kind of pack it on. I don't know, it's just not my favorite. I'm sure it has uses and I did use it. I didn't like it that much. And then this one. This is number 12. It's a little angled brush. I use this a lot for my brows, but I don't think I'm going to continue to use that. I think this is another thing that would do better for small detail work around the eye, or like making a powder into a liner type thing. It didn't pick up as much product as my other angled brushes, so it took a lot longer to do my brows, and since it doesn't have a spoolie on the other end, I needed a spoolie anyway because I put wax down and then I put powder through the wax, but I have to spoolie it both times. So, initial impressions is, yes, you can do your full face with these brushes and have a pretty good time. I think these are going to be good to grab as something I can travel with, something I'm probably going to keep a lot of them out as current use items. And yeah, like the one I use for bronzer and blush, this has been the best brush that has given me the nicest effect. So I'm going to keep that one for sure. Yeah, overall I think it's a very good set. I think it's worth the money. I think if you're trying to cover a lot of bases, or you have one or two brushes and you really just need a set to do your face with, this works quite well. Now we're going to talk about the things that I used instead. I brought one of them over, this one. I've been doing a lot of putting one shimmer on the inner half and one on the outer half to blend those two together so it's not a shimmer blending over a matte that can be kind of stark. It allows them to blend a little bit more easily since they're both shimmer formulas. And since we only had one brush I was really enjoying for putting shimmers on my lid, I brought this one out. This is the Morphe G20. It was quite good for packing on the outer corner, and I didn't use it every day, but I used it quite a bit. And like I mentioned with the other last brush, spoolie. I need a spoolie. And I don't know if number 12 is intended to do a brow type thing. It might just be meant to be a powder angled brush, but with the amount of people doing their brows, you need a spoolie. I know that none of these are double-ended, and it might just be that they didn't feel like they needed to include something for your brows, but this product would have been this brush would have been used a lot more if I had a spoolie on the other end. The fact that I had to bring out one of my other brow brushes to use the spoolie and then go in with this means that I ended up just using that other brush for my brows because why dirty this up when I'm going to have to wash the spoolie end of the other brush anyway. And then final thing is highlighter. None of these big face brushes did really well with highlighter, and I like mine to be impactful. I like it to be shiny. None of mine is like Nikki Tutorials, just like beaming, but I like it to be something that I can tell, and since I also work in an office building with fluorescent light, it kind of dims the shimmer anyway. I need it to be a little brighter. I need it to kind of really get that shimmer aspect going, and that just really wasn't happening with any of these powder brushes. So yes, it's fine if I needed to go on a trip. I wouldn't be worried about packing another highlighting brush because it's not that serious, but for day-to-day, me doing my work, makeup, and that, I'm going to use a different brush for highlighter. I just am. I like it. I have one that I like, and I keep trying other things, and they work in parts, but that one seems to work for most everything. So, this is my opinions on the BH Cosmetics Crystal Quartz 12-piece brush collection. I liked it quite a bit. I'm going to keep a lot of these in my collection for usage, and I think as a set it works quite well to do most, if not all, of your face. So, let me know what you think. If you have any other brush collections you would suggest. I'm open to face brush collections, eye brush collections, anything that does a full face. I feel like I need more brushes and a bigger variety to test for different products, because I've had some products that didn't work quite right with the brushes I had, and I had something that made it work a little better, but it lets me kind of know that there is a brush out there that's better for the products that I have, and having a variety might allow me to test certain products better to their full potential, try it with a couple different options as opposed to, well, I have one highlighting brush, so if this doesn't work with my highlighting brush, it doesn't work type situations. So, let me know down below if you have some stuff you want me to test, or you have some suggestions. I know I like a lot of BH Cosmetics brushes. I've tried some Morphe, but I'm not super sure I want to buy a bunch more Morphe. Even though they have a wide variety, they have a lot of back and forth, and a lot of people are not happy with Morphe as a brand. Let me know. What are your favorite brushes? What are some things you'd suggest I try out? Let me know. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.